Chapter 20. I think they can see us. I want to call him Droney, said Bounce excitedly. You want to call who Droney? Asked Graham. The drone, of course, Graham, Droney the drone. I think it's exactly how Droney is. Well, if you really want to, said Graham. I certainly don't mind. We'll call him Droney and his little friend Ringo. Ringo? Why Ringo? Asked Bouncer. Well, he is a beetle drone, laughed Graham to himself. As Droney flew away from their buried base, the ocean of sand spread out before them. Dune after dune rose and fell, quite literally a sea of sand with an ebb and flow all of its own. The wind picked up breakers of sand that were drawn across the static crests and dissipated into the air like the foam of a wave. The location of the energy sources the sensors had detected had been mapped over Droney's flight plan. The plan was to scout these spots more closely, looking for anything that stood out, anything mechanical or suspicious. Droney's 4K cameras and antennae could see the world in a quality approaching human eyesight, with the benefit of adding infrared, ultraviolet, and pretty much any other wavelength from the RF spectrum. There, Graham, look over there. Bouncer was frantically pointing on the screen, relaying Droney's picture. Oh yes, you can see the underlying superstructure. Good spot, Bouncer. It has been made very stealthily, hasn't it? Defo, it's barely a shadow under the sand, agreed Bouncer. We'll redirect Droney to that location, but raise his defensive state to better cope with anything his sensors pick up before we have chance to deal with it. He'll be on his own a little here. Roger, said Bouncer as he made the changes. A few seconds later, a status light on the display changed to amber, and Droney moved off toward the target. Within a few tens of meters of the target, Droney's automatic sensors picked up a small opening at the base of the dune. Before either Graham or Bouncer could react, Droney went into a dive toward the deck and stopped his motors. Though now stationary, Droney's full suite of sensors could see through the dune as if it didn't exist. What it showed was another drone, this one much larger than Droney, slowly fly out of the opening and start to fly. It took up a holding pattern in front of the opening before performing a slow circular track around an invisible central point, maintaining height and distance as it traced around. As it finished the track, heading to the start point, it stopped and stared toward Graham and Bouncer's location. For a second, they saw this and froze. Not that it would change a lot, but it made them feel better. Just as quickly it had stopped, the drone took off to the start point and sat hovering for a few seconds. At this opportunity, Droney took off and flew just a few centimeters above the sand and closed in slowly on the opening at the base of the dune. The other drone was still hovering as Droney got within a few meters. His stealth systems were clearly better than the others. With Droney no more than 10 meters away, the drone started to move toward the opening. Droney's processor took the opportunity and deployed Ringo. The tiny beetle drone scurried toward the opening, making it through just a door, descended, effectively hiding the opening as if someone had said, "Close sesame." Well, said Graham, I guess we're in. Defo, agreed Bouncer. So what now? Well, we'll have to wait and see what Ringo gets us in terms of intelligence.